The old way of doing it is this email exchange and cryptic portals of paperwork, just nonstop paperwork. It's constantly asking for something else. It's preposterous. It just feels so painful. Rocket has simplified this. Regis, let's talk about that because you've basically been at the forefront of the simplification process. How do you view simplification and specifically in the financial industry because you're heavily regulated?
For us, it's all about living some of our isms, some of our philosophies. So there's two that come to mind as I heard what you just said, Albert. One was being obsessed with finding a better way. Like you can't settle for what is, right? What is created by people and we could change it, and being obsessed with finding a better way is at every step along the way of something like getting a mortgage, which people could really think of as slow, complicated, scary, confusing. How do you make that like so dead simple that if you're in the line at Starbucks, you could refinance your mortgage, or if you're standing in a home, you can get approved for it on your phone, right? Those were our goals when we set out to create Rocket Mortgage, frankly, because we also had this obsession with every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses. So that means for all the different complicated financial lives people have, how do you take all those scenarios and make them really simple so people can live whatever their dream is?
The reality is of course, underwriting is underwriting, but just to get the information in, this is the difference, right? So I think once you get the information in, of course, everyone goes through the same underwriting experience, which is you're going to sit back and wait and you're going to find out, do you get approved or not approved? But the process of getting that info to a lender is super painful. Give us an idea of how you started beginning to tackle these problems.
I'll tell you what we did because it was really interesting. When we set out, this was circa 2012 or so, we set out and we used what we all know as design thinking now or human-centered design. But at the time we said, okay, we need to get a group of people, a small group of people, some who had been with the company for a while, some who had been with the company a week, literally, and lock them in a room and say, let's create a new way. Let's create a better way. And so what we did is on all four walls of that room, we mapped out what are people thinking, feeling, and doing at every step of the mortgage process. And then we would stare at those walls and we would start taking things off the wall and say, how can we eliminate all of this stuff, right? And what really came out of that was a philosophy of ask less, but no more. And how you get to that is data, right? And we had tried and failed at this Rocket idea multiple times before. And it was one of three things. Either the data wasn't good enough, the technology wasn't good enough, or frankly, people weren't ready for it. I mean, we were trying to do an idea like Rocket Mortgage before YouTube even existed. It's one of those things where all of those three things came together, but it was because we were able to focus on how can we ask less and no more. And so that was really about how do you connect financial accounts? How do you open up, different data sources so that we don't have to ask people as much and make it really easy for them to share data with us. And then we can use that to do all the complicated mortgage stuff and give them options, whether they're refinancing or buying a home.
Hey, thanks for watching. This segment is brought to us by Salesforce Platform. Visit salesforce.com/newsletter to discover timely insights and useful tips tailored to your role. Subscribe to this channel and get more great IT and tech interviews with top industry leaders.